Chris Poor here, doing a video. Some of you might know, I was a mechanic for many years, educated at Palomar and San Jacinto College. Done lots of mechanic work over the years for many shops, including Firestone, Walmart, Pep Boys, and I've got a pretty good knowledge of cars. Went down to go get an alignment today. Live in Evansville, Indiana. Actually, I live in Kentucky, but that's irrelevant. And all I needed was an alignment. Had 2 new tires put on it. Everything appears normal. You know, car drives fine. Don't really seem to have any issues with it. It's an 07 Hyundai Sonata. So I'm figuring, $100, eat it and get the alignment. That way I don't wear out these new tires. This is a quote. This video, by the way, too, I am making for your regular person that goes to these kinds of shops, unfortunately, that doesn't know about cars. And I know this has been going on for many years. We all know about it, how crooked mechanics can be, blah, 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 that we get the bad rap, all this shit. Well, this is got to stop. So I don't know if anybody's going to share this video. I hope you do. But I can tell you right now to stay the hell away from this shop, and here's why. Number one, I know there's a markup on parts at shops, but this is where I draw the line. I went in for an alignment. I was quoted. I was told after an hour of inspection, apparently on my car, that I have bad lower and upper control arms, and there are ball joints in these, and if they go bad, what happens is they get some play, and they can move up and down, they can move around, they wear out, okay? They get really, really noisy sometimes. The worst case scenario, though, your alignment isn't going to be able to be aligned because you got to replace the control arm, because you typically just replace them as they're not like a pop in and pop out unit on the control arm. It's just a little ball joint. So, okay, yeah, I don't know if they're bad or not. I haven't checked myself. This guy comes back after an hour, and he says, well, this is a safety issue. Your car's got massive problems. Yada, 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 yada. He comes back with a quote for $548 in labor, including an $89 alignment, $1,056.76 for parts. With a grand total, including tax, I went in there for an $89 alignment. I'm walking out with a... Oh, yeah, and there's a shop fee on here of... it's called Shop Supply, $35. Not sure what that is. I guess I'm going to assume to get rid of the old parts, which you can scrap those and make 50 cents or something. Long story short, this is the Midas Auto Service and Tire. As you can clearly see here in the video. You can look at this all you want. It's clear as day. The quotes are on there, the address, everything. This one's off St. Joe in Evansville. Sales guy's a real young, catchy kid. All that. But look at the total price there. $1,800 and some dollars. For, the control arms, everything else. He's talking, and then the guy even says to me, I'll leave it up here just a little bit longer for anybody that wants to pause the video or go back. You can see exactly the part numbers and everything in the quote. It's down here as well. There's the estimated charges and all that. So, pretty bad. This is freaking horrible. And you're like, no, things are just high, it's inflation, mechanics have to make their money, shops got to keep their lights on. This is absolute robbery, and it's lying. Now, do I know that the parts are bad? No. I'm going to actually inspect them myself and then have another mechanic inspect them, which I don't need, but I will anyway for the point of this and make another video on how bad this really is. So where is this bad? I've done control arms before. It doesn't take a serious amount of time to do them, but it is a somewhat labor, job. So the labor on here I can somewhat see, especially even most shops do charge 100 an hour, 89 an hour. The parts alone was $1,056.76. This guy looked me right in the eye and told me that the parts were hard to find. He said, "My God, it's a Hyundai. They're hard to find. These control arms, especially the lower ones. The lower ones were real hard to find. I mean, we were scrounging to find them for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes while my guys were in there, and luckily we found somebody who has them." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no shit." Well, thank God that you have found these control arms that I so desperately need, that apparently aren't easy to find on a very common car. I mean, I'm glad you found two of them at $316.99 a piece. And two more of the upper ones for $211.40 a piece. And the other one's $238, which is a little odd, considering it's even a different part number, which is a bit odd, but maybe on the top, maybe not be the exact same. So yeah, after reviewing this and basically just looking the guy right at him, because I've been a mechanic for over 10 years, I just am so tired of people and all their bullshit. I said, well, okay, I'm going to have to go take this and, look it over. It's a lot of money. Before I even tried to walk away, this guy's already like, "Look, I'll give you a discount. Look, I'll give you a coupon on this or that, or you can get financing." He just did not want me to leave. He thought I was a sucker. I'm a fat looking guy now. Obviously, I'm not dressed too well. I just kind of look like a big sucker. So, not realizing that I'm an extremely intelligent person and I've been working on cars for many, many, many years. And I didn't even tell him this. I don't tell shops this anymore because obviously I look like a dumbass when I walk through the door. So that's good, because now I know who's trying to screw me. And you say, well, maybe those parts are that much money. No, they're not. I have a quote on the internet from carparts.com. I just ordered them. I got all four of them shipped to my door for $225. That includes a $20 shipping fee plus tax. That means that all four of them, not all four control arms, upper and lower, two on top, two on bottom, total with shipping was $225 with tax and shipping. This guy's trying to charge me $1,056. So I'm not really sure how a shop can be considered legitimate in doing right by their customers when they're marking up parts from what should have been maybe a $300 set of parts to $800 or no, to $1,000. That's an $850 markup. And you say, well, you got them on the internet. Everything's cheaper on the internet. Okay. So, I don't know how much these parts cost at a local parts store. I haven't checked that. I probably should have checked that before I made this video. But I guarantee you, I got a guy down here that lives in Henderson. He's a mechanic too. D's Automotive, great guy. And he would have just simply told me, look, we're going to get the parts on the internet, and they're a lot cheaper. This is how to do business. And, if he wants to charge me $70 or $100 on the parts markup, that's fine. Or maybe he could have made up with some of it in labor. But this is ridiculous. This should have been a 4-hour job for $400 at $100 an hour. And a $250 part bill. I should have been out of there for $700 max. Maybe $750, you want to add tax. But no, it's more than double that by a lot. And then there's some $35 add-on shop supply, whatever the fuck that is. So and total labor was actually $638, so it's not just 4 hours in labor. I mean, these people have lifts, they have power tools. It doesn't take that long. And yeah, I'm at $1,804. So the address is 2811. I showed you earlier in the video. Midas off St. Joe. I don't even know who wrote this up. He's a young kid, blonde hair. Talks a good game. But they're absolutely ripping people off. I'm going to keep this as proof, too, that I went in there and was quoted this for this. If you go in there, you're going to get absolutely reamed. You know, I mean, it's really sad because I understand that every shop does this. They mark up parts. Every shop does it. You're not going to get a shop like Midas or Firestone or any of these other shops. Pep Boys is actually pretty good about markups. And they're pretty good. At least the one in Evansville, Indiana. I'm talking about Evansville, Indiana right now. But this is bullshit, guys. For anybody that walks into a shop and you get a ridiculous bill, take the bill, leave, and do your homework. And if there's a huge markup on something like that, don't do it. You know, if I had the money and everything, and I had a really good job, your average person might have just said, "Oh, okay, who doesn't know?" Because this guy's over here. And he's trying to throw a sales pitch at me. Bro, these are like, you know, I mean, it's a safety issue now, bro. Like, I mean, it's like a serious safety issue, you know, and he's right. Okay, he's absolutely right. Worst case scenario, one of my ball joints could pop off and my wheel comes off and I have an accident. That's absolute worst case scenario. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It is known to happen. After some serious beating, yes, a ball joint can pop out. Does it happen a lot? No. No. But it does happen. I've seen a few cars on the side of the road in my day, yes, where it has happened. But they shouldn't be marking price. You shouldn't be marking parts up $800, $850. It's just stupid. And this is why people don't trust mechanics. And the guy even lied to me. The biggest thing is that it's not even the markup on price, which it is, but he lied to me and told me how hard they are to find. They're not hard to find. You can go to carparts.com. You can go to AA1 or whatever it is, .com. You can go to, excuse me, you can go to rockauto.com or Parts Geeks or whatever. There's a million online vendors where you can go buy automotive parts. They'll have them to your door in 3 days. So I don't understand where they get off marking parts up $800. And then lying to me and telling me that they're extremely rare parts and that, and then I thought I'd even pull one on the mechanic because he came out to talk to me. You know, apparently they didn't like the fact that I was leaving and kept trying to pull me back in. You know, it's like, well, we've hooked him, but he's biting and he's resisting. You know, they're just looking at money. I mean, why couldn't they have charged? If they knew they could get the parts on the internet for $230 shipped, why couldn't you tell me, look, the parts will be here on Thursday? You know, do you have any means of transportation till then? Whatever. That's the internet price. If you want to go with the local bullshit, then we'll see how much they cost. But it still doesn't matter. They'll get them from the parts store and mark them up anyway. But my point is do your due diligence to yourself and check, because there are really good mechanics out there that won't even charge you $100 an hour. They'll charge you $40 or $50, and they'll do the exact same job, and they'll be happy to do it. Not some bozo ass corporate shop that's got their head up their ass with money and dollar signs. You know, these are our vehicles. We should not be paying excessive amounts for something. You know, he should have just, I mean, for Christ's sakes, what do they want? They're making $90 an hour labor plus a stupid shop fee for $35 and some other bullshit on here. I mean, this is ridiculous. You know, $548 for labor, and that doesn't even include, actually the total labor, and then it says total labor down below is $638 for labor. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, $100 an hour, $80 an hour, that's fucked, but it is what it is on these shops. But you're going to go ahead and mark up all the goddamn parts to another $800? I don't understand what. This is why these shops are getting. They got multiple locations across the United States. Because everybody is paying way more money for auto repair than they should. I mean, and it's just an old thing that's been going on. But anyway, long story short, the Midas Auto Service and Tires at 2811 North St. Joseph Avenue. I don't know where you guys got your parts from, your prices on your parts, but your parts are way too high. And you should probably I would never recommend anybody ever going to you because their wallet isn't big enough. And the lying to me to my face and telling me that the parts were hard to find is absolute bullshit. I could call up any auto parts store, I'm sure, and find them. Now, will they be $200 or $300? I don't know. They might be. But then why not tell the customer to wait a few days? I don't know. I need to check that out too. But I would definitely recommend not going to this place because they just, he lied to me about that. And then the mechanic was out talking to me and he said, because the parts are horribly expensive or whatever. And then the mechanic said, well, the parts are so high because it's made in Korea. Well, I know that it's made in Korea. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all the parts are going to be expensive. I mean, we have Toyotas that are made in Indiana right up the road. And Hondas and all kinds of stuff that's all Japanese based. Doesn't mean that those parts are necessarily going to be more money just because they're Japanese based. Now, anyway, long story short, I would not recommend anybody go to that shop. I went home. I just ordered the parts for $250. Or no, I'm sorry, that's $225 plus tag. The whole damn thing was $226, roughly. For all four of them. Now, if it costs me another $400 to have them changed out by a decent mechanic, or if I do it myself, it'll be free. If I get another mechanic to do it, $400 plus $225 is $625. So, before you go to the shop on St. Joe, this Midas, and spend $1,804 right there, okay, in clear fucking bullshit that some soccer mom would have done, or some old person, or some young college girl that has no idea. Stop ripping people off. Period. Because you're not gonna be in business. The thing is, you do bad business, you get bad reviews. This is bad business. I could have a mechanic down here do it for $100 an hour, charge me 4 hours, charge me $400. I get the parts myself and wait 2 days. I'm out $625. So instead of $1,800, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. It's 3 times as much money. I don't think anybody in their right fucking mind who's a real person would say, oh, yeah, I have to do this right away. You can almost buy a used car for $1,800. Won't be a fucking nice one, but you... So, just before you guys do anything, like I said, do your research, check the internet, make sure it's the right part, make sure it's at a good price. Don't trust the guys at these shops. They're going to lie to you. The mechanic's going to lie to you. The shop owner's going to lie to you. The guy up front, he marks this shit up. Why? Because he's in sales. That's his job. He even pitched that he was a salesman when he was there. They pitch it to these guys. It's like when you go to get an oil change and they advertise $29.99 oil change. Oh, well, that's our basic shit oil. You wouldn't want to use that. Here you go. So they lured you in. And then you go in there, and what do you get? You walk out with a fucking statement that says $131, and you got your synthetic oil change done. When meanwhile, you could have gone down to the parts store, bought it all for probably $40 to $50, and then paid somebody $20 to change it. It's markups and bullshit and sales tactics, and it works. Most people would rather just give their money than have to worry about it because they get the peace of mind. But there's no peace of mind with these people. They're fucking ripping you off. They're absolutely ripping you off. And they're going to say the same thing every time. Well, we have to mark up parts. That's part of our business. Okay. I understand that. Every shop does that. It's pure bullshit. But every shop does it. But I've never seen a markup of $800 on a 800 and literally fucking $25 or some shit. Doesn't matter. On a pair of fucking, on some control arms. It's the saddest thing in the world. I mean, they're telling me that, I guess their shop, that they pay their guy $25 an hour or $20 an hour. Their shop can't survive off a $100 hour labor rate times, I mean, but every shop does it, so I'm not going to get into that. But they just mark the parts up $800. That's the point of this video. So do your research. This is Chris Poor, mechanic. You know, I don't know. Don't go with your first quote. Take it. Do your research. Don't get ripped off, guys. Have a good day.